Okay, so this is the third video in the human biped take, and what we're going to do is continue to block out our thumbnails. So we've got basically done 1 and 25, now we've got to do frame 27, so that's going to be 127. And what I think we'll do is start with the root control, and let's move Willy up a little bit. So, and then let's lift his head up. Maybe even stretch it up a bit. And now we need to go to his eyes. And that was these little guys. Where were his eye controls? Where have they gone? Left upper lid. Yeah, so we want that. So we want to open that up. And that one. And that one. And that one. So, and we probably want to open his mouth a bit as well. So let's try going, is that the mouth control? Yeah, that's the jaw. Oops, but we want to make sure that that's set closed at 125. And let's set it at 101 as well. And then here at 127, we'll open up the jaw. Okay, so now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay. Now the hands need to move as well, so I'm gonna use his IK controls to pull his hands down a little bit. And this one too. So let's see what happens next. Then 31 is, you see how important the thumbnails are. Even when I'm doing stuff that I've done before, I'm always referring to my thumbnails. Then, so 31 is going to be a little bit of a squash. So 131. And we go back to here. Maybe move him back a little bit. Don't have to worry too much about his feet because we're not going to see the feet. Let's see, what was the thumbnail? What's his face? So, okay, so it's kind of shoulders up at this point. So let's see what we can do with the shoulder controls. We haven't actually animated them, so let's make sure we've got keyframes set on them throughout. And at 27, and what we could probably do is move them down at 27, like that. Probably move them up at 25 actually, so we get a little bit of counter animation. Then up at 131, and then 135. Is that what we're doing now? No, we're doing 31. Okay, so let's just make sure we're getting somewhere here. Okay, 35, sorry, 31 we've done. Let's now do 35, where we're kind of going back up a little bit. So body, whoops, select his root control, body up a little bit, maybe rotate him back slightly. Maybe let's take those shoulder controls down a little bit, so there's a bit of counter animation. And then I think our final pose is going to be 49, where we settle into the final pose. Okay, so let's go back to our cog. And do something with his hands as well. I'm going to shift select them, just use them in total, in tandem here. I'm going to get them out of the way actually, because I don't really want them. So here at 31 they probably want to go up. 35 they want to go down. And then let's just keep them out of the way. Okay, so that's everything roughed in very, very quickly. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it's still pretty blocky there. One thing we want to do is probably close his jaw at the end. Let's keep it. Let's and then what can we do? What about these? Okay, that's going to give us a little bit of. Okay, so let's just set a keyframe there. I'm going to select both of these, set a keyframe there, set a keyframe at 101. You've always got to lock down your keyframes. There we go. 31, 35, and 39. Okay. So now, if I just turn off everything, show none, show polygons. Let's just turn on the chapel and go to textured mode again. So that's what we're going to get. We're going to start here and go into there. And I'm going to turn off the textured mode because it makes my shots very, very heavy on the playback. But there we go. There's a sort of basic take. Now, obviously, there's a lot of work to be done on that. It's not very refined, and I need to get in there and change it. But again, all I'm really interested in doing with these videos is getting you started and showing you how to set these things up. Obviously, in order to refine these curves, now with any luck, I can select all of his curves by, if I turn off Select Surface Object, and if I Shift Select all of these and hit the spacebar, I can see all of the curves in the shot. Something seems to be set at frame 0. Not sure what that is. I'm going to hazard a guess that I can delete it. I hope that that doesn't mess up the rig. Let's hit A in the graph editor. So these are all of our curves, and obviously at this point, just like with Monty, it's just a question of refining these and making sure that we flatten our tangents at the end, so we've got a nice slow in, and we certainly need another key in between 101 and 119. In fact, 119 should basically be almost the same as 101, so that he's just sort of standing there for 20 frames before we then go into our anticipation here at 125. So this is still pretty crude, but I'm going to leave it to you to clean it up and see what you can get out of it. And of course, you don't have to use the chapel. You can use anything you want. Just imagine what your character might be looking at. And it doesn't have to be a frightened take. A take can be excitement. It can be enthusiasm. He could be looking at the rather like the wolf in Red Hot Riding Hood, which you should definitely watch. He's looking with excitement about this girl on stage. A take is just a reaction. It doesn't have to be fear. It can be anything we want it to be. So have some fun with it. Use your imagination and see what you can do. Oh, and before I finish, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Willy Take version 2. And continue. And that's the end of the video.